Hey everybody, Rick D here. Thank you for watching. Welcome back. This week we're talking about episode 5 of The Blacklist. You may notice I'm not in my normal setting or with my normal setup, but that's because I've been a little busy with the different things that I've been doing, but I still have most of a script written, and I figure I'll just run with it and try and keep it under 10 minutes. So without further interruption, let's start the review. Quick episode recap. Liz had a bad dream.
Rise and shine. The day is waiting. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
The courier stashed his parcel.
My name is Seth Nelson.
Red sent the FBI to intercept the courier.
They replace trust with fear and the threat of violence.
The next target on the blacklist is a physical embodiment of both. He's known as the Courier.
Liz and Mira had an exciting car chase.
Do it!
The courier's abilities proved to be more than skin deep.
Your suspect has congenital anhidrosis.
Liz brought in the courier's brother to get some answers.
Lady, you don't understand Tommy.
I know his condition prevents him from
No, I
feeling
mean
pain.
you don't understand him.
Wrestler tried to impersonate a criminal.
That was hot. Now he can hear you, right? Yep.
The courier escaped and was killed by Mira and Wrestler. Red took matters into his own hands and found Seth Nelson.
He's in the dirt, right here.
And Tom confronted Liz with the box on the floor.
What's going on?
You're gonna see this.
So, with how much time I had to write a script with between the different works that I go to, I didn't have time to do a criminal update, but I mean, you all saw the episode, so, I think the courier was a pretty excellent criminal. I think the ability of him not being able to feel pain was a really cool aspect that they added to the show. It was another way of making him creepy and I guess maybe adding a superhuman element to it without it actually being superhuman, it being, very easily explained away. I thought it was really nifty to throw that into things. Very cool. I have my script over here on this screen, so I'm gonna go through what I had already. So episode 5 opens on a dream that Liz is having about confronting Tom. It's no secret that I'm a Tom sympathizer. I really want him to be a good guy. I mean, I just get suckered in by his manner, and I don't want him to turn into a monster. But after seeing Liz's fears portrayed on screen, even I'm starting to question him. It's hard to see someone, with their hands around someone else's neck, strangling them, and not, have their image altered in your mind somehow. I thought Dream Tom's transition from the ignorant husband to the discovered spy was pretty jarring, as rightly it should be. What I especially like about this sequence is how it mirrors the episode as a whole. If you look at things, Tom starts out as the doting husband, but as the episode goes on, he starts to, he discovers the box in the floor, and he gets more suspicious. He's sitting there texting back and forth about, we need to talk and things like that. And it's pretty cool how by the end of the episode, they're so at odds, even though they haven't come to a physical altercation. One detail I did appreciate was the fact that they are adopting from a young mother who is having the baby. It's not like they're pulling a kid from, the existing adoption setup, which would probably be better in the long run because the kid would now have a stable home and he wouldn't be in the foster system. But even so, there's nothing wrong with adopting a baby. Now, when Liz first opened the box, I remember there being a lot more passports than there were in the box that they showed at the end of the episode. Because I go overboard with these things. I actually went and I took a screenshot of that, and it looks like you've just got the one passport, the gun, and then the stack of money. And I remember there being like 1 million passports, and they were scattered all over the box. But yeah, this one, they didn't have that. Now, there's two possibilities here. Either Tom wants to ask Liz why all of his passports are missing, or the passport that's actually inside the box has Liz's name on it. And Tom wants to know why she has money and a gun stashed away under the floor. Now, if the passport in the box does have Liz's name on it, then I'm pointing the finger straight at the guys across the street, the dude with the apple who set up all the cameras in their home. It's not clear at this point who these people are or what they want with Liz and Tom, but they're definitely suspect number one if something goes awry in this marriage. I don't think these guys are working for Red, though. I feel like having them part of the Red team would be too obvious in this situation. What I want to say is that these guys are working for the adversary that Red mentioned to his assistant, or rather that the assistant mentioned to Red.
The right question, and we could have made the world tremble. Finally found our adversary.
I would like to see Red go up against another super criminal. I'd like to see Red put in a situation where he's not in complete control and he doesn't have all the answers. That way it would really force him to flex that criminal muscle of his. And I think it would be pretty cool to see Red caught off guard for once. The reveal of the courier was appropriately creepy, and the way he put Seth in the refrigerator was pretty clever. Now, I'm no dummy. I watched Punky Brewster as a kid, and I know what happens if you get stuck in a refrigerator. So the countdown was especially thrilling for me. At any rate, the use of a ticking timer definitely played as a strength in this episode. I know it's a trope of the procedural drama, but it wouldn't be used near as much if it wasn't so effective. Either way, I liked how the whole episode revolved around Red's desire to intercept the courier. It was never about eliminating the courier. That was, just icing on the cake. It was a bonus. The real prize was acquiring Seth as an asset. Last week I mentioned that I didn't want, the blacklist to devolve into Red simply listing off a name and sicking the FBI agent on that person, but in this instance it worked, but only because we knew ahead of time that Red wanted this person for an ulterior motive.
Perhaps this is an opportunity to let our new friends at the FBI carry the water.
Now, that's where my script essentially ends. I should say, though, that I really liked the pairing of Liz and Mira in the farmer's market. I feel like the combination of Mira's training and Liz's FBI profiler training was cool to see in the field, and that one part in the car chase where Liz just tells Mira punch it and they just slam into the courier was pretty awesome. I think the fact that the courier couldn't feel pain, like I said before, was a really interesting aspect to his character, especially when you're considering that he had so many tools and things just hidden underneath the skin. I mean, when he breaks out towards the end of that episode by cutting the little blade out of his arm and then unlocking his handcuffs with it, that was pretty awesome. That was not something you usually see in a criminal procedural drama show. I think bringing in the brother to fill in the courier's backstory was a really good move on their part. I feel like having the courier be the victim of child abuse, especially with how horrific that child abuse was, I think it was a good way to try and humanize this person who was very inhuman in his abilities and operating, method of operating.
What it did to him over time. Tommy's broken.
That's one thing I like about the Blacklist, is they try very hard to humanize the criminals, to show that these are multidimensional people, that they're not just, a creepy guy in a plastic mask who buries people in refrigerators, and then, if he's if he's betrayed, he kills both parties. He's mentally damaged in some way, not, he's mentally challenged because of birth. He's, mentally altered because of, abuse and things like that. It's interesting how they multi-layer it like that. I thought Wrestler trying to impersonate the courier was was an interesting thing. Wrestler is so clean-cut and straight-edged that, I don't know if he could ever be believable as a criminal. I mean, he's certainly not believable in this episode because he's discovered so easily. But it's funny seeing him more exposed to Red. The more time he spends around Red, the more he wants to try and prove himself to Red, because Red made those comments about how, oh, you're just angry because you never caught me type of thing. I thought the death of the courier was an interesting situation. The fact that he couldn't feel pain and he was still up and walking, trying to get away while he had a bullet in his brain, that was a pretty cool scene there. Plus, it's always, I think Wrestler and Mira are at their best when they're in a shootout scene, trading ammunition with a bad guy. I'm worried that the Blacklist is going to start relying too much on Red to solve things at the end of the episode. Last episode, we had Red intervene with finding the stew maker. This week, he went straight to the former French intelligence lady that Wrestler tried to talk to, and he got the information out of her. And I know it's called the Blacklist, and I know it centers around Red, but I don't want them to just, have Red swoop in at the last minute and Deus Ex Machina the whole thing. I feel like that would be cheap if they kept doing that. I am very much looking forward to seeing Liz and Tom have that conversation about the box. In the previews for next week's episode, they show Liz taking Tom in, and they put him in the questioning room, and he has something to do with, finding a dirty bomb or something like that, and that'll be cool to see. I really did like episode 5. I thought the Courier was a really good bad guy. I thought involving the different parties that were involved, the Iranian and the French lady, was really cool, especially considering they had to rush to find the NSA agent. I'd have to say the Courier was an excellent follow-up to the Stewmaker, much better than Wu Jing, much better than the Freelancer, and I think if they can keep this track going, then we've got a lot of good episodes to come, definitely. And that's pretty much it. As always, please comment below to keep the conversation going. Subscribe to my channel for more of these weekly reviews of The Blacklist, and follow me on Twitter to see what I have to say during each episode. So until next week, I'm Rick D, and thank you for watching.